Hey guys, it's Courtney from Willow's Bloom, where we intentionally design our life and business according to the cosmos. Don't forget that every video I make has an accompanying blog post, which I will link down in the description below. Also, this specific video actually has a free hypnosis with it, so that will also be in the description box below. So today we're going to be talking about manifesting money. And I wanted to really talk about this from a different perspective because I just read a book that really changed the way that I look at money. And I feel like everyone talks about manifesting money, and it's just kind of this thing that gets thrown around a lot, and it almost leaves a sour taste in your mouth when you see it because it's just, it's really oversaturated and there's too much content swirling around about it. But I wanted to take a little bit of a deep dive into the concept of money and how this manifestation works on an energetic level by using the approach or the ideas that come from the book Love Money, Money Loves You by Sarah McCrum. So I'm gonna put a picture of that or link that down below because I highly recommend this book. It's super positive, and while I don't agree with every single aspect the book lays out, I generally agree with what she says, and I feel like there's a lot of wisdom. There's a lot of golden nuggets here for us to take away. So I'm gonna teach you guys how I actually manifested $222 the very next day after putting in the money request, and how you can do that too. So I'm going to get to that at the end, but before that, it's so important to understand the foundation that leads you there. So please watch the beginning of the video first. And then I will also include, again, that hypnosis, which is around money, the idea of money. And what this hypnosis will do is it will put you hopefully into a state of trance if you allow yourself to relax. And it will work with your subconscious mind to teach it that money is infinite and abundant, and it's okay for you to want money. Because I think that there's so many negative things attached to that. So we're gonna get into all of that right now, but I just wanted to let you know that that is down below. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is what is money and why is it important? So this book was actually written as a letter, almost like a love letter from money to us. And Sarah said that she channeled this book, so it really came from outside of her when she was writing a letter about money to herself. And just so much ideas flowed to her that it actually ended up being this book. So two ideas that Sarah really dives into are the ideas of expansion and exchange, being two pillars of human interaction and human essence. So this is super important because there have been so many times in my life where I have felt greedy or selfish or just negative or bad because I wanted more. I wanted more for my life. I wanted more things. I wanted more money, all of it. Not just, the beautiful and tangible things like love, but also the tangible things. And there are times where, again, I felt greedy for wanting this. But this book really emphasizes that it's our human nature to desire more. And Tony Robbins, he always says that when you're not growing, you're dying. There is no such thing as stagnation. If you look around at nature, something is either growing or it's dying. And the same thing with humans. We are meant to expand, or we're meant to expand our consciousness, and we primarily do this through exchange with other people. Think about if each individual person on this earth had to provide for every single one of their own needs and they could receive no support from anyone else. That would really limit our ability to grow as a society and to become connected and stronger. So this is a very key pillar to human existence. The idea that we're going to expand and exchange services and support one another and use our values and the things that we have intrinsically and also the things that we have developed through skill and provide those to other people so they can support their lives. So we're exchanging this value, and then through that exchange, we're expanding our consciousness. So this is the basic premise of human life. And what money is in all of this It's basically a form of measuring the value. So during our interactions, during our exchanges, money is that thing that is simply measuring the value that we're providing to other people. And the problem that she illustrated in the book is that not all value is currently measured. And she said that, as consciousness evolves, as humans become more evolved, we're naturally going to find a different system instead of money. Because think about it, like the mom that stays home to take care of her kids is providing a lot of value to the world through her children, but she's not really receiving payment for that. So we're gonna set that aside for now, because obviously that we can't do anything about that right now. And just think about it in terms of the value that we provide people that is much more tangible, because that's sort of the level of involvement that we're at right now. So whenever we are providing more and more value, this is when we will receive more and more money. But the important aspect of this is that we have to be open to receiving that money. It's possible to put out more value and not get the money back because you're closed off from receiving. And I'm sure you've seen this lots and lots of times where people just don't want help, they don't want assistance. And the whole thing about money and its energy is that it doesn't matter where it's coming from. If somebody is trying to give you money, you are meant to have that money. You are meant to accept that money, even if it's not from something that you've directly earned, like maybe somebody gave it to you from the outside. And that's the funny thing, because that's how I received those $222. I do business astrology readings, and eventually I want to charge $222. Right now it's a little bit lower, but maybe at the time that this video goes out, it'll be $222. So I do those readings for people, and so I've been giving away a lot of free readings lately and just really enjoying connecting with people and just people that I was interested in and wanted to see their charts. And so when I made my money request, which I'm gonna go over how to do in a minute, I requested $222. And I thought, I don't know how in the world I'm gonna get this, because I don't have any products listed on my website for that price. And that's a very random amount to somehow receive in another capacity. And then the very next day, somebody sent me a PayPal saying that they were tithing 10% of their income to me because I had provided them spiritual food by giving them a business reading. And I just thought that that was crazy, because it was exactly $222. And there was no way for me to get that money through my own means. But I was open to receiving it through alternative means. And I think that is super important to illustrate. And especially because I have friends and people I know who currently are being supported by their loved ones, and they feel really bad and they think, I need to go and make my own money. But the thing is, the universe is giving you this support and this money in order for you to go and do something else by providing value in different ways. So maybe you're providing value to all these people, but you're not getting money for it. And then the money that you're getting is from your partner, from your family. So I just want you to have an open mind about how the money flows to you, so that you're very open to receiving and not closed off and blocking things that are meant for you. Okay, so as I was saying before, we get more money by exchanging more value. And I think that's why now with the internet, now that there's like online courses that a bunch of people can sign up for, and it takes less effort for you because it's more of passive income, you can still affect all those people's lives. You're still giving each of them that value. And so because of that, you are actually getting all that money back. So this is a really wonderful time to be alive, because we have the opportunity to impact so many people without always giving our time, without always being right there next to them. So I love the internet because of that. A key aspect of receiving this money and being open to it is understanding that it is infinite, that money and abundance are infinite. And something that she said was, can you count the grains of sand on the beach, or can you count the stars? And she's using this kind of metaphor to describe money. Like, can we really count how much money there is? And is there a finite amount? And logically, you might say, yeah, of course there's a finite amount. But if you know anything actually about our money system, especially in the United States, you know that money is printed and is actually owned by people that are not associated with the government, which is the irony of this all. It's not actually this container, like it doesn't have a very set amount. They can print more money if they want to. And of course, economists could definitely argue with this, and it might seem silly, it might seem super woo, but the idea is to be open to the fact that money is ever flowing. There's just always more of it. Is there a limit to how much service or value you can provide to someone? No. So then that means that there's no limit to the amount of money that are circulating or how much you can get. And equally important to this, if it's infinite, then that means that when you receive money, you are not taking it from someone else. Of course, someone could give you money and you are technically receiving it from them, but they have the opportunity to receive infinite abundance as well. So just because you are wealthy or you are making lots of money doesn't mean someone else can't. And I think that the more money that you have, also the more responsibility that you have. And you can help people, for example, in other countries where they don't necessarily have this opportunity yet because of our level of consciousness and involvement. So it's very important to be aligned with this ideology and understand that it is okay, it is not selfish, it is not greedy to want more money, because you are not taking it from someone else. You are not taking these resources from other people. They have the same capability to get that as you do. So if you're open to this idea and you understand it and accept it, then money will be able to flow to you so much easier. Okay, so now let's get to the part that you're actually super interested in, which is how to manifest this money yourself. So in the book, she talked about using joy as our inner compass. And I mentioned in another video a long time ago about why you're unhappy. I mentioned in that video that when we don't check in with our emotions and we don't allow ourselves to feel, we're not in touch with our intuition. And so I just kind of wanted to piggyback off of that and say, since we need to use joy as our compass, the precursor to this is that we actually need to know when we feel joy and when things are feeling in flow for us and feel right for us. And the only way to do that is to allow ourselves to feel on a regular basis and to listen to our intuition when it comes. So really getting to know yourself and your emotions is key to this exercise. So if you want to manifest money, you need to follow your joy in everything that you do. So when you're doing a task, you need to feel this joy. And when you're creating a product for someone, you need to feel that joy. And if you don't, step away or find a way to get yourself excited. And you can do this through a number of means, which I might cover in another video. But some ideas are to move your body. I always feel so much better after I get the energy flowing, because stagnation is oftentimes why things get blocked and you don't feel good. Another idea is to change your perspective about things. If you feel like you're really struggling about something, kind of take a step back and look at the bigger picture of the goal of what you're doing. Or if it's just a task that's not as fun, do some things to make it more fun, more enjoyable, or more sacred. Even just by changing the environment, by lighting a candle or having some music and just giving yourself the opportunity to enjoy it, even though it doesn't come naturally to you. So follow your joy and still continue to do tasks that you need to do, that you're responsible for, but always trying to assess what brings me the most joy and using that as your compass. Then step 2 is to be open to receiving the money and to be patient. So again, having your channels open and not having these money blocks, like thinking that, it's not good because you're going to take it from someone else or that you don't deserve it. And then the third step is to request the money. So be careful that you are requesting this from a place of abundance. If you are excited and you feel like you have enough in your life, but you just want more because you want more, then this is more of an abundance mindset. So you're able to request it with the energy of, I love what I have, I'm happy with what I have, I'm requesting more still. The difference is a desperate mindset or a needy mindset or a fearful or worried mindset when you are in debt or you don't have enough money to pay for things. These are easy to default to. And so it's very challenging to actually put yourself in the mindset of abundance when your circumstances around you are not abundant. That makes total sense. But the goal is to actually do that, to think about all the things that you do have in your life that you can be grateful for, and just recognize the abundance that already exists around you will really help you step into that mindset before you make the request. Also, the wording that you use is super important, because if you use like I need or I want, this really shows a desire and a kind of desperation, because it focuses on the lack. I need this because I don't have it. Whereas if you make a request that you want immediately, you would use terminology like I have to have this by this date. And that doesn't have as much of that lack mentality. And then another way to request this is like, please give me this by this time, or just please give me this amount, if it's less of a time crunch. And then keep on expressing abundance, joy, and gratitude, and then you will see that in time the things will come. So if it's a fast money request, then it will hopefully come to you. And she explained this whole system about us having kind of like a reservoir of cash like waiting for us, depending on how much value we've provided in the world and haven't debited or taken it out. So if you can imagine, like every time you do a good deed for someone, it's like you're getting this value stored up there in the ethers, and then you can put in a request and get that money right away if you have that value kind of saved up. But if you're someone that's always been taking and taking and taking, and you don't have any value that you're giving back to the world, she actually said that we die, I think she said. But I would probably go read the book yourself about this aspect, because I don't want to get super into the ideology behind it. But the idea is that the request will come quickly if you have like the value saved. Otherwise, it will take time. And that's important to know, because there's so much that's happening behind the scenes in order for that money to come into your life. And that's because if you don't have kind of this credit waiting for you, then what you need to do is you need to provide more value in order to receive that amount of money. And you probably already would have received that amount if you were providing that value now, if you knew how to provide that value now. So what's happening is you need to up level or change your current status and the way that you help people. And in order for that to happen, you need to meet new people, you need to have new opportunities open to yourself, you need to say yes to those opportunities, even when they're all little coincidences that line up, and you could have just said no to one of them to miss out on the long term. So you need to say yes to everything that arises and be open to it, and then you need to actually provide that value to someone. So you can see that there are a lot of different events that sort of have to align in order for the money to eventually be manifested. And I would love to know how much money you would like to manifest down below. I would love to manifest to make a salary of $103,000 a year. I think that's a great amount, and I actually got that from my purposeful profit video, which I talk about how to actually set revenue goals that make sense and that have more meaning and purpose behind them. And so I will link that video down below and up in the cards, because that's a really great one to watch. So maybe after you do those exercises, then you can set your money goals and then actually manifest or request the money from the universe. And one more thing to keep in mind, this is super important. I can't believe I forgot this. You cannot cancel your money request by having doubts. If you put in the request and you think, that's probably not possible, you cancel the request. So what you need to do is put in the request and actually believe that that money is coming to you and that that money is yours and a done deal. If you can believe this deep inside of you, then the money will likely come. I can't promise you anything, but I think that if this is working, if this book is right, then the money will come to you. And if you have that ceiling of doubt, then you're just canceling it right away. So just try to maybe build up your confidence by doing this with a little amount like I did, and slowly go a little bit more so that you start to really buy into this idea. If you go for something that's super huge, you'll definitely believe it if it works, but if it doesn't work, you might never try again and you might be discouraged. So it's really up to you what you decide to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below how much money you want to manifest. But most importantly, please hit that notification bell because that's how you'll get my videos pushed to you each week. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.